What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jeremy G podcast. This is your boy Reckless Talk. Man, I got another great episode for you guys today. Episode 33, kicking it with the great, amazingly talented, that man PJ Nichols. What's going down, brother?
What's happening, man? It's an honor and a privilege, man.
Man, it's an honor to have you on here. It's definitely a blessing. I really appreciate it, man. Taking time out your evening, I really do. For real. Before we even get started, man, how was your shows? I know you had like 2 or 3 shows this past weekend. How do they go?
It's good. Last 2 weeks are good. Down in Surfside Saturday for the Memorial Day weekend, and great beach vibe, and outside of just a great show. Night
Yeah.
down in Dickinson River playing, kicking the weekend off. It was a real good time. Saturday was spectacular, man. Had a great time. It's a beautiful day. Not raining for once.
Yeah, I know it, man. I appreciate the invite, brother. I really do. I wish I could have made it, but I had the kids and stuff. But I definitely do appreciate the invite, for real. I'll definitely catch a show in the near future, for sure, definitely. Man, let's get started.
Sure.
Man, how long have you been playing the guitar, and do you play any other instruments?
Yeah, I've been playing the bass for over let's just say over 30 years. And I've been playing that, since I was 15. Before that, I started on trumpet. And I went to college playing trumpet and bass, on a scholarship. But yeah, I play guitar as well. Dabble a little bit in every instrument, but my main instrument is, the bass.
That's awesome. That's cool. Who influenced you to start?
I'm sorry.
You hear me?
Out. Yeah,
There?
there. Well, I can tell you that.
I actually.
What's that?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What got me started playing?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I have a lot of influences, as far as bass playing is concerned. I don't want to get geeked out on telling you all the people that most people never heard of, but what really influenced to get me into music, go back as when I was in 5th grade. Most of the summers I used to spend with my grandparents up in the country, up around in Leon County, Centerville, Leona, and I had to go to church with Grandma. She every Sunday morning, that kind of stuff. And we went to church one morning, and there's this gentleman, and he was playing the trumpet, which is unusual, little Southern Baptist church, whatever. And at that time, when most kids said, I want to be a policeman or a fireman or a pilot or something, I saw what he's doing, and right then and there, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Not only did I know that I wanted to do that, but my whole family could sense that in me. And what's really a real God shot from that is when I started middle school the next year, that band director that played trumpet in Centerville is now my band director in Montgomery. So,
that's awesome. Awesome.
Musical mentor, got me interested, taught me a lot about music and writing music. I mean, just, everything that's behind the music. He's probably my biggest influence as far as that comes.
That's cool. That's definitely cool. Do you have?
I'm sorry, audio keeps cutting out.
Do you have any solo or group projects coming up that we should know about?
I don't have any real projects I'm working on right now. I'm fully booked through the summer, pretty much for the rest of the year. The stuff I'm looking forward to doing this weekend, I'm with Brandon Smith at the Barn Whiskey, which is out in Baytown area. It's a real cool venue, like an old saloon style whiskey bar it's a really neat place. Then with Rob Saint, and that kind of stuff, we're down in Surfside again in a couple of weeks down at the Dorados. Looking forward to that. And then me and Rob again are back at playing up in our neck of the woods in Conroe, which we don't get to too often, at a place called the Backwoods Saloon, which is another really cool venue. Really looking forward to that, being close to home and close to family and stuff like that. Really looking forward to doing those.
That's awesome. Big shout out to Rob Saint, man. I had him on the show, man. Amazing dude. Big shout out to him. So you mentioned you're gonna be playing with Brandon and Rob. I actually wanted to touch on that a little because it's not heard of now that people go from like they just play from band to band. You know what I mean? And I love that. 20 years ago, people wasn't doing that. And I love that people are willing to to just play with not everybody, but have people, the different bands to play with and just and show love to each other. You know what I mean? So how does that work for you?
It's something I've always shown much love and support for all the local music artists around here. There's a lot of great ones, and
Yeah, definitely.
more popular than you think. But I used to take every gig that somebody throw at me, and I would recommend that to any young musician out there. Somebody hires you, get out there and learn, man. That's the only way you're going to learn to play and get it down. But nowadays, all of us musicians support each other. I mean, it's there's not many of us still doing it as long as we have, and there's not as many bands or venues anymore. But right now, there's kind of a shortage of musician and bands, and therefore there's a huge demand for bass players. So I mean, I could pick any gig I wanted to any day, but I culled it down to a couple of people that I get along with. It's about a vibe, and maybe a different vibe for one band than the other, but still a vibe that fits you. And that's what it's all about, man. You support each other. It don't cost anything to like somebody's post on Facebook or to share it, or to even
Exactly.
go to their show, man. Uh,
Mhm.
a lot of great live music out there, man, from every genre out there. And I'm not going to turn down any, that I can, as long as I can fulfill my promise to play with them. It is more common than you think. It just nowadays it's a little more common. So it, it's a good time. Rob's been around as long as I have and playing around. We never played together back then, but it's just a blessing to get to finally play with them and great musicians.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. That's one thing. Rob had nothing but the utmost respect and nothing but great things to say about you. Like you said, it's all about the vibe, and that's exactly what he said with you. You know what I mean? When you guys call each other, y'all just get together and y'all go do it. You know what I mean? And y'all make it happen. And I love that, man. It just shows the respect level that artists have for each other. Especially like you said, you gotta support the local artists. You gotta support each other. You know what I mean? And I love that about you guys. I really do. And nothing but respect for both of you guys. For real.
We both do it. He's a pleasure to play with, and it's a fun time to play with him because he'll keep you on your toes. You got
Yeah.
to keep show.
I'll definitely be catching you guys real soon. Definitely. What are your favorite things about your current phase in your career, and why is this so fulfilling to you?
Man, just music's part of my soul. To be able to still be doing it, I never really thought about, as a kid, how long I'd be doing it or when I'd stop or if even all that kind of stuff. I just feel fortunate and blessed, and I'm able to still do it. That I'm still have my health, and my arms and fingers are working. And just have the stamina to be able to hit the road and play these places. I'm just really lucky, and the fact that you get to make a living doing this, that's just dream come true for anybody.
Yeah.
It's ultimate success as a musician. To maintain that for 30 plus years. It's just a real blessing.
In saying that, what you've been playing for so long, what would you say is your favorite venue that you ever played at?
Wow,
I'm sure there's a few.
man, favorite venue. A lot of them aren't in existence anymore. But I miss the days of the old Texas dance halls. There's a lot of big ones around here where families would all go out, be the whole family. The whole family could get in. They'd bring their coolers in with whatever refreshments or drinks they wanted to have. Let the kids run around and dance and play. That's kind of how I grew up. That's the way it used to be, and those used to be real popular. Just families don't go out like that anymore. It used to be that was probably favored the most of the places I played. I mean, I played some pretty big places like the Pavilion at the Woodlands. Of course, those are memorable, and some
Yeah.
big stages before. But the funnest time was seeing a whole family come out and enjoying music, getting exposed to it. Live music.
Yeah. That's awesome. Man, can you describe to me what it's like to be on stage in front of all those people? Like knowing they're there just to see you play?
Well, whenever the vibe is right with the guys you're playing with, and you're kicking on all cylinders, and it's feeding back from this crowd, whether it be just a few people or thousands of people, it's just a high that you can't even describe, that you can't recreate. There ain't nothing they make to get feel that way. It's just unbelievable. It'll give you an adrenaline shot like you wouldn't believe. You just want to keep playing, keep
Yeah.
making everybody's firing. There's nothing like it. Unless you're a musician, it's real hard to describe that to anybody.
Yeah. That's awesome. But what's the last thing you do before you go on stage? Like, do you have any like crazy rituals or anything like that?
Not really. back in the day, guys would get together and have a shot or something like that, kill the nerves or something like that. But when you've been doing this long, I kind of do my pre-workout, ritual beforehand and practice and set up and tune. And I just kind of get on stage and start playing. And that's mostly the guys that I'm with. That's kind of what we all do. We're just ready to get up there and just start plugging away.
Yeah, I hear that. We have a viewer saying hi, Mrs. Lisa Shoemaker. How you doing? I don't know if she's saying hi to you or me, but what's up? We see you in there. Thank you for the comment. Let's see. What is your creative process like? When you're making a song or whatever. What gets some creative juices flowing?
It's just the whole process of creating music. Whatever somebody has a riff or something like that, or some lyrics, that kind of stuff, and kind of paint a story or a picture and just kind of playing along with it. And it's just one of those things. It's like as a bass player, the simple and less is best to play. You don't want to overplay or do anything like that, because the bass player is the soul of the band. He's the one that drives it. It's what you feel. That's what you feel kicking. That kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that you get that feeling, passed on to the listener. That way they can really feel the music. It's kind of like you really don't hear it, but you feel it. So you want to capture that more than anything. And
yeah.
Any process in doing that. So
that's cool. How would you describe your sound?
Wow, aggressive. Being in 2-3-piece bands where there's just a bass player, a drummer, and a guitar player, you got to kind of fill in for not only playing bass but a rhythm guitar player or another instrument. So just my sound's more aggressive sounding, kind of along the lines of ZZ Top, Dusty Hill, or Geddy Lee from Rush, that kind of stuff. Just a little bit so it stands out in the mix, where it's not bottom end, real bassy sounding, bump your speakers type, but something that stands out in the mix that cuts through. You got to do that when you play. It kind of adapts to which band you're playing with or how many people are in the band. You necessarily don't want to stand out like that if you're playing with a big 11-piece band or anything. But that's probably more what I've adapted to over the last couple of years, something that's a little more aggressive sounding.
Okay. I know you said you knew from an early age that you wanted to do music. Did you ever think you would have this much success or be in the industry this long?
Never really ever really thought about it. Just music's just part of me. It's like an appendage. It's and I don't measure things by how successful or famous you are or nothing like that. It's nothing like that. Just being able to make music with people and being able to connect with people, it's just that's just an amazing, beautiful thing, man. It's just beautiful.
I love that answer. I love it. That just shows that your passion for music. That's an amazing answer. I love that answer. I know we touched on a little bit in the beginning. The shows you did this past weekend. And you also said you're booked basically throughout the year, which that's a major blessing. I'm really happy for you on that. What other shows do you have coming up in the next month or two?
Like I said, I got the Bar and Whiskey this Saturday. That's with Brandon. Great show to come out if you're out in the Baytown area. That's a really cool venue. Like I said, it's like walking into an old saloon, huge bar with every kind of whiskey you can imagine if that's your thing. It's just a kind of a cool vibe place. Next Saturday, Bareback Saloon with Brandon. And that's a real cool vibe place. That's in the spring. Been playing there for 30 years. That's a really, really cool place. They have little games they play there and stuff that they have minnow races where you race minnows. Don't ask me, but
he said, "Hey, if that's your thing, you can do that too."
Yeah. If you want to do that, you take a straw, race a minnow, push it along. It's kind of you have to look that up for yourself. I got a couple playing with Rob next Friday and King Brohouse, and that's in can't remember exactly where it's at. And then, like I said, we have another show in Surfside in a couple weeks at Dorados, which Surfside's always a great time. Just a beautiful place to be right on the beach, man, and playing. It's just really nice.
Surfside's amazing. I seen that. I seen what you posted on Facebook. That looked like a nice little scenery right there where y'all were playing at. What do you got coming up for 4th of July?
4th of July, we're working on something right now because 4th of July kind of falls in the first part, middle of the week or whatever. There's not really a whole lot. It's kind of, and nowadays with holidays, most places don't give you a holiday on the 4th of July, so people don't get out as much. But there's a couple of things we have working that hadn't come to fruition yet. I'll post it something does come up.
Yeah, definitely post it, and I'll definitely go ahead and share it. We're gonna go ahead and end this interview. Got one more question. What advice would you give to any up and coming artist that's trying to make it in the industry?
Man, practice, practice, practice. You're gonna hear that with everything, and not just that. At the same time, be open up to all music, man. If there's a gig out there calling for a bass player, guitar player, don't turn one down. You're gonna get experience no matter what it's been. I played with Tejano bands, country western, swing band, jazz, all that kind of stuff. Man, just don't turn them down. Get out there and play and learn as much as you can. You just become a better player. You got that utility that you can always go back in, and you could you'll find your place, what you really like to play, what kind of style of music you like to play. Because a lot of that, I love jazz. I love fusion, really all that stuff. But that's not really a music you connect with the audience with. So when you play that stuff live, you're connected to the musician. So I'm going to love it to death, love to play it, but I'm not going to get paid a lot of money every get to do it, So
Yeah.
Play every type of gig that you can do, man. Just don't turn it down. Keep practicing. Learn the mistakes you made, take note of them whenever you make mistakes in a performance and go back and work on them and perfect them and just keep on going, man. Don't stop. You can make it, just like everybody else says, you can do anything you want to. You literally can. It just takes a lot of work and practice, man.
That's an awesome response. Man, we're gonna go ahead and end this interview. I definitely, like I said, I appreciate you coming on here. It's a major blessing. Man, I wish you success beyond your imagination, brother. Man, you out there killing it, and keep doing what you're doing for real. And I'll definitely be catching the show soon. Definitely, I'll definitely be catching the show really soon.
Yeah,
man, it's saying that episode 33, kicking it with the amazing PJ Nichols is done. We are out of here. H-Town, stand up.